Rain drummed overhead, draping a gray veil over the usually lively rows of my orchard. I'd spent years nurturing those trees, my heart and soul woven into their roots. Their branches stretched out like open arms, laden with fruit that sparkled when the wind danced through. Each tree held a piece of my story, from the sapling I planted after my father passed to the sturdy pear tree whose harvest funded my degree. Yet, despite all I'd poured into that land, it now hovered on the edge of ruin. At the heart of the storm stood Margaret, president of our local homeowners association, or tyrant, as I privately called her. Tall, rigid, with a tight-lipped scowl and eyes devoid of kindness, she worshipped rules, paperwork, and the facade of perfection. If anything clashed with her vision of an ideal neighborhood, it was either fixed or flattened. No exceptions. On that dreary afternoon, her voice cut through the growl of the bulldozer she'd summoned. "If you'd followed the guidelines, we wouldn't be here," she snapped, jabbing a finger at me. "Your orchard violates the drainage standards I set. We're installing a trench through your property to prevent runoff from flooding the main road. A trench right through my trees." I wanted to yell, but my voice caught, leaving me staring at the machinery's relentless advance. The bulldozer's steel teeth sank into the earth, tearing a brutal gash. Soil and roots sprayed upward. My orchard was bleeding. "Margaret," I finally choked out, "we had a deal. The orchard predates the HOA. It was here before your rules. We're protected." She cut me off. "You should have hired a lawyer months ago. I warned you about drainage risks. Besides, I've already cleared it with the city. My paperwork is ironclad." She glanced at her nails, unbothered by the chaos. "You're lucky the association's covering some landscaping costs. I'd stay quiet if I were you." Stay quiet? She might as well have told me to lie down and let them bury me. All I could do was watch as vibrant leaves were ripped from branches, left to rot in piles of dirt. The machines roared, splintering a beloved tree's trunk. A silent sob shook me. I prayed the sky would unleash its fury and drown my grief, but the thunder only taunted me with empty threats. Over the next week, they carved deeper, slicing my orchard in two. The trench turned my land into a scar, a channel for water from new houses, sprinklers, and street gutters, all funneling toward the neighborhood's drainage basin near the playground. I was powerless. Every time I challenged Margaret, she dismissed me with her sharp, polished tone. "This is out of my control," she'd say. "The association decided." As if some faceless council, not her, pulled the strings. But I knew better. The other HOA board members barely showed up to meetings. She was the puppet master. One night, kneeling by the largest stump of tree with 30 years of rings exposed, I felt my sorrow burn into rage. I wouldn't be another victim of Margaret's control. She destroyed part of me without a flicker of regret, strutting away like she'd done a public service. That night, my dreams twisted with images of monstrous, rotting fruit dripping with venom. I woke to my phone's chirp, a text from a neighbor. "Sorry about your orchard. We're all upset about the trench. Hang in there." Sympathy was nice, but no one dared face Margaret, fearing her petty fines or sudden inspections for overgrown lawns. She ruled through fear, cunning, and words that left you hollow. But I wasn't hollow. I refused to be her prey. Yes, she had city backing and deeper pockets, but that trench, one that gutted my orchard, was also a flaw I could exploit. Studying the HOA's drainage plans, an idea took root. A friend on the board slipped me the trench's final layout, showing water's path past my land toward the playground. My orchard sat on slightly higher ground. With some clever digging, I could redirect enough water to flood the playground, Margaret's prized project, with its fresh mulch and shiny turf. It was a bold plan, but I had the skill and fury to make it work. The night I began, a storm brewed. Lightning slashed the sky, and I took it as a sign. Soaked in minutes, I grabbed a shovel and trudged to the orchard. Mud sucked at my boots, but I found solid ground and started digging a small channel off the main trench. Rain masked my work's noise. Each shovel thrust was a strike against Margaret's ring. My muscles ached, fueled by images of uprooted trees and shattered branches. By dawn, I'd carved 30 yards, sloping toward the playground. The plan was simple: let the trench function, but siphon enough water to swamp her precious park. It wouldn't harm home, just her legacy. For weeks, I worked in secret. By day, I nodded politely at neighbors, biting back rage when Margaret sneered during her patrols. "Replanting, I see," she once said, eyeing muddy tracks near my channel. "Hope you're following landscaping rules." Uniformity matters. Of course, I replied, faking meekness. Just tidying up. She didn't suspect a thing, too drunk on her own power. Eventually, my channel was done, hidden by grass, rocks, and transplanted shrubs. All I needed was a big rain or the HOA's planned water test. That autumn, they scheduled a flow test to check the trench for the rainy season. Perfect. On the morning of the test, my stomach nodded with anticipation. Margaret had invited residents to the playground to flaunt her perfect drainage system. At 10 a.m., we'll run a flow test, her email read. Bring the kids to learn how engineering keeps us safe. She had no clue what I'd planned. I stood in my orchard, camera ready, a hidden lens aimed at the playground. As workers opened the valves, water gushed through the trench and hit my channel. It split, some flowing as intended, the rest racing toward the swings. I jogged closer, filming discreetly. At first, Margaret beamed, explaining the system to a small crowd. Then someone noticed water pooling near the slides. Trickles became a rush. Her smile faltered. "What's happening?" she barked at a worker, who shrugged. "The trench is fine. Maybe an underground shift." "Fix it," she snapped, panic creeping in. But my channel worked too well. Water flooded the playground, turning mulch to sludge and warping turf. Kids squealed, parents fled, and workers scrambled. I filmed Margaret's meltdown, her shouting, her flailing. My heart pounded, not with guilt, but triumph. After months of her crushing me, I'd flipped the script. I didn't let the chaos run forever. When it peaked, kids crying, parents furious, I anonymously tipped off the city about a faulty drain. They shut off the water, but the damage was done. The playground was a swamp. A city official arrived, glaring at Margaret. "This'll cost a fortune," he said. She stammered. "It's sabotage, maybe, that orchard owner." But I was gone, watching from my ruined trees. That night, my phone buzzed with neighbors' texts, some angry, some cheering me quietly. I ignored them, savoring my footage, Margaret's rage, the flooded turf, the chaos. I considered leaking it, but held off. The next morning, Margaret pounded on my door, hair wild, eyes blazing. "I know you did it," she hissed. "Don't lie." I played dumb. "Did what?" "Got proof." Her hand shook. "I have your motive. I'll make your life hell." I shrugged. "You already have. Good luck pinning this on me." She stormed off, but I knew she'd fight back. She did. Flyers appeared, warning of a saboteur. She hit me with fines for violations, grass height, fence paint. I retreated to my orchard, nursing surviving trees with water I'd ironically tapped from her trench. But her attacks escalated. A city inspection loomed, citing illegal water diversion. If they found my channel, I'd face fines or worse. Had I gone too far? The orchard was everything, but legal trouble could break me. Still, I thought of the stumps, the roots, her smugness. I wouldn't fold. Inspection day came. Two officials, with Margaret smirking, scoured my land. They noted fresh digging. "Just replanting," I said, heart racing. I'd hidden the channel, but it wasn't perfect. They neared the critical spot when one got a cow, an urgent issue elsewhere. They left, promising to return. Margaret's face twisted. "This isn't over," she spat. But her grip was slipping. Neighbors blamed her for the trench mess. Rumors spread that she'd rushed the project. Her playground was still closed, costing thousands. She was unraveling. Then came Lisa, a neighbor I barely knew. She warned me Margaret was obsessed, digging into my finances, my past. "She's unhinged," Lisa said. "But I get why you fought back. If you need me at the next HOA meeting, I'm there." Her empathy stunned me. I wasn't alone. Lisa shared how Margaret bullied board members, used city connections to bend rules. The more I learned, the more I saw a woman addicted to control, breaking anything that resisted, like my orchard. Hope arrived via Tom, a city engineer. He apologized for the trench, admitting Margaret pushed it through despite flaws. "Your orchard's route was too close," he said. "I think corners were cut." He asked for old permits. I dug up my dad's deed, noting the orchard's historical status. Tom's eyes lit up. "This shows it's protected. The trench might be illegal." A spark ignited. If the project was void, Margaret would face the fallout, not me. She sensed trouble. Days later, she offered a truce, cash for orchard repairs, dropped fines, if I'd waive complaints. I laughed. "You want to bury your mistake." Her mask slipped. "Take the deal, or we'll both lose." I refused. I'll think about it. Don't call me. Lisa urged me not to settle. Tom confirmed the orchard's protections held. I could sue, maybe undo the trench. But a legal fight daunted me. My sabotage haunted me too. I'd hurt kids' joy for revenge. I chose a final stand. At the next HOA meeting, I showed everything. Footage of the trench tearing my trees, the playground flood, Margaret's meltdown. I shared Tom's documents proving the orchard status. Margaret bypassed protections, I said. She rushed the trench, then offered me hush money. The room exploded. Neighbors demanded answers. Lisa backed me. Others shared stories of Margaret's threats. The board, cornered, voted to suspend her. She fled, hissing, "You'll regret this." She was right to fear. The city found she'd ignored the orchard status. They apologized, offering arborists to restore it. The playground was fixed, funded without her. Neighbors rallied, planting saplings, sharing resources. The orchard's future was secured as protected land. One morning, Tom brought news of a grant for new trees. "You fought hard," he said. "I'm here if you need me." His smile hinted at more than friendship, a quiet possibility blooming. The orchard healed, scarred but alive. Neighbors helped it grow, turning loss into community. Margaret resigned, left town, her empire crumbled. I pitied her. Brief list built nothing without control. But as I touched a new sapling, feeling its pulse, I knew I'd won more than revenge. I'd found strength, allies, hope. The orchard endured, and so did I. Sometimes, you must unleash the storm to find the light in the growth that follows.